we're live.
That's good. I'm also going to switch that, and hopefully that is a little bit better. Is that right?
What are you changing?
It's the
audio. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I am gonna just check the input just to make sure, though. Just to make sure, Ski. Yep, input is all the way up, so we should be good. Oh, hello, everybody. Hello and hello. Oh my. Yeah.
While we're sitting here,
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say, and I intended.
Yeah.
Well, now what are you gonna say?
There. I had an idea. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. And I intended to send you this photo to put up on screen, and then I forgot, so it's fine. On September, well, it's not on. It's starting September 5th, going through September 7th. Madeline James is hosting the World Building Festival.
Oh.
And so that is almost a full 72 hours of presentations and live streaming and content, all related to world building, which includes everything from like maps and geography to language creation, and culture and other considerations. And so it's going to be very exciting, and it's going to be featuring not only Madeline James herself, but also our very own Matisse. And you are not unqualified to give a stream's worth of content, Matisse. You are incredibly qualified, and I'm just going to let everybody know that I actually gave your name to Madeline and said Matisse needs to be a part of this because you do some incredible things, Matisse, and you have just so much good knowledge that I'm very excited you're sharing. It will also include me and David, so David and I will be streaming 2 days. We'll be streaming on Saturday and Sunday. I forget the specific times that are. Well, you know what? It's just a draft of a schedule right now.
Did she get back to you?
Yeah, and it was fine to switch the topics.
Oh, so should we let people know?
Well, I don't know the exact times yet, and just in case she needs to switch us to like a Friday and Saturday, I just right now like the draft of the schedule is going around just to like triple check that everybody's okay with it. But it's also going to feature Conlangery. So George Corley at Conlangery is going to be involved. Artifexian is going to be involved, and Biblaridian. And I think some other people were contacted. These are the only names that for right now I know. Hannah Smith and World Building Pasta and Ross Baggio. I don't know their names right now, but I look forward to meeting them and knowing more about their channels and what they do. And like I said, I do believe other people were contacted, including, Let's Have a Booba was contacted, I believe, after this little poster was made. I think Let's Have a Booba is involved because I remember talking to Miles about something that might be going on there. So all that's to say, September 5th through 7th, be ready, because there's going to be just a whole lot going on YouTube that whole weekend, and it's going to be incredibly exciting.
Yes.
Just because you'll get to see so many things. And it's all going to be on YouTube. So, if you're not available during those times, you can always go back and watch videos. There's going to be so much you can catch up on it if you're not able to do it right then.
I am also going to be doing something new. I've got chat up on my phone, and so I no longer have to look at it over here. be better if it was closer to here, so I wouldn't see me looking off screen.
Do you know
But-
this whole thing moves, and I don't need it this close to me, and you could,
I suppose.
move it closer to you if you need it.
It's also it's good though because I turn and expose my good side.
Oh, I do like your good sides.
Yeah, but good point. Just move that a little bit. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. What a helpful dear.
Yay.
Okay.
Oh, and people in here have heard of world building pasta, and it sounds like they do, like they've worked with Artifexian, and so they do some of the physical world aspects, if I'm reading the comments correctly. So like I said, just very stoked because so many different things are being represented, and there are so many different conlangers represented in this festival, which to me is also very exciting, just to have so many takes on the content. So I think it's going to be very cool.
Yeah. And by the way, I posted the link in there into chat, so you could just follow that. So, but you can also get to it, I assume, from MadelineJamesWrites.com. Let's see what her main website looks like.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yes, pull that up.
Okay, there she is. She's saying hello. And oh, look at
Ooh,
that.
Bib is working on a climate map.
The Biblaridian? Our Biblaridian? Oh my goodness.
But yeah, there's Madeline's website.
Yeah. Okie doke.
Yeah, Madeline plays with swords, y'all. If you didn't know that, like, how cool is that?
Yeah. She's not here right now. Otherwise, we could really make her blush.
But isn't that beautiful? The artwork at the top, and
Yeah.
I love her logo. So many good things going on
Yeah.
the website.
Good shirt, and so everybody can see the post-its over here.
Mm-hmm.
These don't click into anything, do they? No, they don't. Okay, so that is that.
I bet there is time, Bib. You and Matei should totally do an economic world building stream together. Like, there are hours in the middle of the U.S. night that I feel like would probably be in the European late evening that you and Mateus could could do or something. But anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So next, what are we doing next?
Well, we have a poll to go over.
We do,
We
yeah.
have things to get to. Did you want to tell people why we both missed Let's Have a Booba on Tuesday?
Oh, that's right. Jessie missed Let's Have a Booba simply because she's a sweetheart. I missed it because many of you know that I have this tattoo of Jessie's name in High Valyrian on my left arm. Well, I have now a companion on the other arm. It's not going to look like much because the stuff is on there, and so it's a little smeary right now, but I have gotten my cat's name, Kelly, on my other arm, and I actually will show you what it looks like if I remember if this still works the same way. Oh dear. Oh.
What did you just do?
I did something silly. Okay, here we go. So this is the glyph, and it looks just like that. So my cat's name Kelly comes from my language Kamakawi, and in Kamakawi, Kelly, which means tail, is a combination of two syllabic glyphs. So there's the glyph for K, which is tooth, and Li, which is give. And Li is pretty obvious. It's just like a bent arm holding something for give. K, as tooth, is a little short. It's a little small. And so what happens is the syllabic glyph for K has like a tooth on top and then a line below it that's just there to fill out the space. When they were combined, I took part of the tooth part of K and added it to Li. overall, the glyph does not look very good. And I say that from not only just from my modern perspective for, writing systems I've done since then, but honestly not even within Kamikawi itself. It looks a little odd. It looks like there's just kind of like a weird extra line on top of Lee, and it doesn't fit, it doesn't balance very well. And so I went to my friend Barry Garcia, whom you may know. Barry Garcia is not just an incredible conscripter and conlanger, he's also very, very good at hand lettering. In fact, Barry does most of his stuff just with pen and paper. And I told him, the entire backstory of the glyph, and I showed it to him, and I was like, I absolutely agree that this glyph does not look any good. Can you give me the best possible version of this glyph? Understanding that I can't change it at this point. Really for emotional reasons, I can't change it at this point. Can you give me the best version of this? And this is what he did. And it absolutely blew me away. Totally blew me away. It was incredible. And so now I have Kitty's name on my arm as well. And I think the little wrap is probably going to come off tomorrow. And then, a week or two of just a little bit of healing, and then it will be there. So.
Well, and it's a little red around your skin, but just to show people, I don't know if you can see this. I'm waiting for YouTube to catch up, but this is...
Yeah, that's good.
It's good? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the tattoo in real life right after it was done, before the plastic wrap went on. And so, yeah, that was David's arm. So that's very exciting.
Yeah. Anyway, so
also,
yeah.
Go on. So
I was just going to say that's why we missed Let's Have a Booba. It was, the appointment was at 1:15 p.m. on a Tuesday. That was just worked out. That was going to be when it was going to be. So very sorry. Otherwise, Let's Have a Booba every Tuesday from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific time.
Yay. So Jonathan had made a joke based on the way I had worded things. I wanted to clarify that I am not saying that I don't think Americans would find an economic presentation interesting. I want to say, what I was trying to say was, I know that the way that the schedule is set up, it's, Bib was saying if there's time for another one. I was just saying I know there's a gap overnight that isn't filled yet, and I think it may be European hours that could be fillable. And us Americans could either stay up all night to watch it or watch it the next day.
I
was not insinuating it would not be interesting, because quite frankly, I would be fascinated to watch Bib and Mateus work together on such a thing.
I want to add this about economics and world building, unless you have something quick.
I do. One other thing, because Ragdoll says, does Jesse have a tattoo dedicated to David? And I sure do.
Yeah, we got it together.
I have David's name tattooed in Joadi. His is Jesse in High Valyrian, mine is David in Joadi, and it's in the same place, so it's on my left arm.
Yeah, she happens to be, even though it's summer, she happens to be wearing something right now because Jesse's feeling a little under the weather. And so that was why I was going to offer to talk more this stream, and then you come out and were like, Madeline is doing a world building festival.
Listen, I may be done now. I may go take a nap.
Okay. So this is what I wanted to say about economics and world building. So Biblaridians says, an accountant friend of mine has tried at least a dozen times to explain to me the concept of the stock market, but no matter how he frames it, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I have to say that's something that resonates with me a lot as well. There are a lot of times where it's like, financially, it's like just in my own life, I do the simple thing because I understand it, rather than the risky thing I don't understand that might be more profitable. I remember there was a friend of mine who was musing, just like last year, it's like, she had mentioned that it was a whole thing, but basically somebody who was her fiance ended up spending some of their money on some Bitcoin right when they came out. And she was really upset about this, which frankly, I understand that. And ended up, making him sell it to get the money back. And she was like, if I had held on to that now, I could have sold it for a lot more. And I said, that's true, not just of that, but also a lot of things. But the way I look at it in my life, it's like, my life is still pretty good. There are definitely things that you could have risked financially to make a lot more money earlier in time. But there are also risks you could have made that would have been catastrophic. And so it's like, well, things are pretty good right now. Don't, rue the mistakes that you made that could have led to fortune. Just to be grateful for the ones you didn't make that could have led to ruin. But, okay, anyway, regarding economics and world building, I think one of the most important things, and this I think goes for a lot of elements of world building, is how it can tie into fiction, how it can drive a plot, right? And so there is this particular movie, and I still can't explain exactly what happens because I still don't understand exactly what it means. But there's this movie called My Man Godfrey, where this guy who used to be kind of like pretty well-to-do ends up becoming homeless, largely due to his own design, and ends up becoming a butler for a very wealthy family, where the father makes a lot of money, the rest of the family is very flighty. But what happens over the course of the movie is that the father, in order to pay for the extravagant lifestyle of his family, things end up going a little bit south. Anyway, there's two crucial points in this movie. One, Godfrey mentions to him, I used to dabble a bit in the stock market. Maybe I can help you. And then the guy says, well, one dabbler is enough. And that puts an end to that. But that's like one little pin for this plot point in the movie. Then the end of the movie comes. There are a lot of other things that happen, but one of the things that happen is the father of the family says, well, I hate to tell you this, but we are basically broke. My stock is, the stock for our company has been dumped on the market. We pretty much lost all of our non-liquid assets, and so the only thing we have is like this house, and that's if they don't come for it. Anyway, things are in a very bad way. And then Godfrey comes in and says, well, actually, you asked for my help once, you declined it, and so what I decided to do was I sold short. I knew that your stock had been dumped on the market, so I sold short, and I made a bunch of money, and it ended up signing it over to you. Anyway, the whole point of this is that I don't understand it. It's basically magic to me. It's basically like if you're watching a superhero movie and the guy says, wait, how can you beat him? And it's like, oh, all we need to do is eat this blutarnium, and then the blutarnium will enhance us with powers that will allow us to beat him. It's basically saying the same thing. But it actually is a real thing, and it works, and so it's just something that can happen within, the stock market, which is a small piece of broader economics, that it can essentially drive part of the plot of a story. Anyway, and so when it comes to like economics and world building, I really feel like it's the same thing. A lot of us don't necessarily understand it, but a lot of us also don't understand things like biology, chemistry, physics, whatever. And it's like, if you can understand a little bit of it, then you might be able to see how part of it can be used to help drive a plot. Anyway, so that's my 2 cents on it.
Not only drive a plot, but just we had Mateus on our stream almost exactly a year ago. Because Mateus came out here almost exactly a year ago. I think it was a year and 6 days ago, to be precise.
Oh, wow.
And when we spoke at that time, while I was interested to learn more about economics and kind of, like some of the areas that Mateus has studied, I was interested from an academic point of view. I had foolishly thought that like it wouldn't necessarily be beneficial for my Jwadi creation specifically. Just because the way I was setting up that world, and that was the personal project I was most invested in at that point. I thought it would help with LangTime stuff because we're building out this whole world of interactions and things going on. But like for my personal language, the way I had structured the world, I was like, well, that's not going to really play into it. And yet, as we were speaking, it was really eye-opening, I think, to think about how we tend to think of economics and think of money, bank, markets, etc. But like it goes down to these things that are even simpler than that, like what goods are produced and why, how are they produced and how are they shared. And it's like, even if you're creating a world where there's no money in the sense that we understand money, there is still an area of goods being produced. How many are produced and why? Like, do they overproduce? If they overproduce, what do they do with the extra? How do they use those to work with each other to get a system going? It's just like, it's so at the core of human interaction that I think, as much as anyone can say, oh, economics, it's, money, that's not where I'm going to be spending my time. It's like, it's just so much more than that. That's all. That's my 2 cents.
By the way, gotta read out this comment from Bibleridian. See, this is all way beyond my understanding. I'm still struggling to grasp the concept that you can give money to someone and then they can give you something else in return.
It is a wildest concept in a way. You're right, Mateus.
Yeah, you are right. That's got to be a special LangTime episode, yeah?
It was just our Thursday episode from like a year ago.
Yeah, but sometimes if we're not actually doing like, our conlanging, I make it a special episode. Let me give a quick search for it, and I will link to it.
Or we have other moderators on here. I swear, I think the date was
I
June.
Find it.
June 13th.
Oh.
2024.
Oh, by the way, happy Juneteenth, everybody. This is a holiday I learned about pretty late, but it is a good one. Okay, let me. Okay, where do I need to go? I need to go to.
Sometimes it is all modifiers in here. But yeah, happy Juneteenth. I also, yeah.
Content, live. All right, and looking at last.
Oh, I think Jonathan just posted it. Well, Jonathan posted a YouTube link, and either Jonathan is posting something random or has just helped us out.
Yeah, June 13th. So if that's it, it should begin with U3BK. Yep, that's the one. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Splendid. All right.
Oh, and for anyone who doesn't know about Juneteenth and Juneteenth becoming a national holiday, I encourage you to read up on Opal Lee and her story. She is one of the reasons that Juneteenth is a national holiday. Not the only reason, but she is a main person behind the drive to get it recognized as a national holiday. Amazing woman, amazing life story, and so if you're interested, read more about her. She walked to Washington, D.C. from Fort Worth, Texas.
A bit tangentially, Ralph Ellison became immediately famous for writing Invisible Man. In fact, actually probably famous before that, because the first chapter of Invisible Man he wrote as a short story, and that was what led to him getting the book contract to write a whole book. And Invisible Man is easily one of the best books I've ever read, and one of the best examples of prose in American English, certainly, and I would say English as a whole. Anyway, he was very famous for that. Highly encourage you to read it. He was writing another novel that I don't believe he finished, and that novel was called Juneteenth. That was the first time I'd ever heard the word. But I know it was not published in his lifetime. I don't know if it was finished. It may have been finished, but he wasn't necessarily happy with it. Maybe wanted to do more fine-tuning, or maybe it's just ends early. But I've always been curious, because of course Invisible Man was so incredibly good. It'd be great to read something else. Okay, so let's get the poll out of the way, and we can move on the rest of our day. This poll was about adverb formation.
Yes.
In our Fox language.
That's right.
Yeah. And adverb formation is something that we don't often get to or talk about. And it's also not something that we always have necessarily an independent form for. We decided to do that with this language since we're kind of leaning into inflection. And so we had 3 ideas for you to consider. One was to use a similar strategy to what Halkoff does. Halkoff has this shortened expression, OMI, coming from ogwemai, which means in the belly of. We shortened that up in Lohakish, and that became or uma. And so if we had haf, quiet, then umahaf would be quietly, au, young, umau, youngly. I don't know why I used that as an example. It started with a verb, a vowel. It started with a vowel, not a verb. That's why I did it. Anyway, so that was one. And then we had kind of 2 that were very similar. This was doing our own thing, where we have the expression ar blank, so like on or in or by a blank paw. So he came on a quick paw, he came by a quick paw. That was the idea, and to use that and to create an adverb strategy. So for one of these, it was going to remain more distinct, so the R would always be there. It would just be like marhaf and marau. It would always be mar. The other one is that the R is only introduced before a vowel. So mahaf is quietly, and marau is oh. Those are both supposed to be youngly. Not that that's a great adverb anyway, but whatever, it's the forms that are important. Anyway, so the question was whether, for these 2, basically whether you liked the R before a consonant or not, if you thought it would be reduced.
Right. Yeah, we probably won't keep youngly as an adverb unless we change its use and meaning. But
yeah,
there we have it, and the fish can give the girl flowers later.
It was youngly a part of this language, and then it died. Okay, so the poll results were pretty straightforward. In last place, A. I think people really like it when we're pushing away from Halkoff in this language. So A was in last place, and then solidly but narrowly in first place was B2, so the reduced one.
Nice.
So there we are. All right, now I will put pages back
And
on.
at this point, several people have commented that maybe youngly could be youthfully or childishly or excitedly or something of that nature. I think George was the first to mention that.
That could work. I like that idea. But then would young by itself mean childish?
See, that's...
No.
Yeah.
Front. It is front. Okay, let's take a look at...
I think we can't... Childish to us has too much connotation. Youthful. So young could be meant as youthful to me without the connotation. It's just more about that concept of being young. So youngly could be youthfully. But yeah, the whole childish to me, if you want it to not be negative, you have to say childlike in my vernacular.
The childlike princess.
Or the childlike wonder. If you say it's childish wonder, then I'm like, oh, that's too bad. You're naive. But childlike wonder, it's magic. Yeah.
See, childish Gambino is the rapper. Childlike Gambino is the one that hosts Reading Rainbow. Okay, so something interesting. I was slightly concerned about the reduced version because there would, in my head, I thought there would be no distinction between an adjective inflection agreement and the adverb, but it turns out there is.
Oh.
So, for example, Hoff
Mm-hmm.
in the... Wait. Never mind.
And the Normality channel with Ryan Taylor. Yes, we create languages here real time, and so you're seeing everything behind the scenes that normally gets hidden by, well, by just not streaming it.
Oh, goodness. Shoot, do we have to do introductions too? My name is David Peterson. I was born in Long Beach, and I live about 10 minutes from where I was born. Jesse, your turn.
I'm Jessie Peterson. I was born in Missouri,
Yeah.
and I live about 24 hours from where I was born. It was a 21-hour drive, so I guess 21.
Seriously?
I said about. It was. Yeah.
It took us 3 days.
Yeah, only because you wouldn't let me split it up in 2 days. I thought we could do a 12-hour day and a 9-hour day. You were like, no. So we took 3 days to drive here because of that. But it was like 21 hours, I think. Here, I'll MapQuest it.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure it was like 21 hours.
I could walk to my hospital. Anyway.
Okay, well this is saying 26 hours. So I live about 26 hours away from where I was born. By car, not by foot.
Wow, look at those people. This is another person who has come here for the first time. So, okay, let me try to do a better explanation. So, just for the couple of people that are new here. So, we are creating languages specifically for anthropomorphic animals that are a part of a board game that I'm making. And they're kind of separated into little kingdoms. Not necessarily kingdoms because they all have different forms of government, but different bands. And so, for example, season 1, we created a language for the rabbit kingdom. And what we do is we work for 2 hours a day every Thursday, and we don't work on the language outside of the stream. And so incrementally, we build up the language. There have been people who've enjoyed watching as we do so. But in terms of, do you need to watch everything to catch up? Obviously, anytime you do something like this, there's going to be a lot of in-jokes that crop up, and so you might miss out on those, at least at first. Others in the comments might fill you in. Will you miss out on the previous languages? Sure, they'll be mentioned, but it's like if you wanted to see specifically the rabbit language, yeah, you got to go back and watch season 1 to see how it came to be. If you just pop in right now, so like this is what, episode 18? What are we?
Yeah,
18
episode
or
18 of season 7.
Okay, no wait, it's 19. It's 19.
It's 19.
It's 19. It was almost 619 on 619, but
Oh
it's
my
actually
God.
719 on 619.
On 619.
Anyway,
Yeah, 719. This is the 19th episode.
yeah, so obviously this language has gotten built up a little bit, and you're going to miss some of it, but you can always just see what we're doing at the moment. So right now we just made a decision about how manner adverbs are going to be formed in this language. And what I was about to do was just go to this table and see where I could fit it in. And to go back and finish my previous thought, so interestingly, there's an inflection. So plural locative is ma, adverb is ma.
Oh,
Kind of interesting.
that is interesting.
Yeah.
Also interesting is that my YouTube keeps showing a little buffering thing every now and then. George.
Yeah, that's true. George is absolutely right. You can just pop in periodically when you have time and heckle me. And so, obviously to get a really full sense of the language and understand like the specific language and where it's come from, yeah, you need to go back and watch that. But to just kind of see a little bit of conlanging and hopefully see a very, very small piece of it, like you can just dip in whenever. You don't have to watch the whole thing. Oh my gosh, episode 724 on 724.
Is that going to happen? Is that real?
That's real. You know what that means. You know what that means, Jess.
We got to celebrate.
Well,
It's
not only that, but for the previous week, we need to start streaming and not stop until we've gone 7 days, 24 hours straight. with no breaks or interruptions.
I almost said something that I feel could be taken a very wrong way. Because you know how, like, when you turn, say, 24 on your birthday that happens to be on the 24th day of the month, it's called your golden birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, it's going to be our golden stream. And then that just sounds really wrong. I don't know that we want to call it that. Anyway, I would die, George. Thank you. And Jake, thank you that you don't want to cause harm to me. I feel like David would survive and I would not. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. I know, Jonathan. I was like, why not just say it? But anyway.
Okay.
Ooh, maybe we could fund KopiCon 3 with
Just
clickbait. And then people are like, why am I here?
Just like I don't know, a still shot of me like doing this, and then it says like, there is absolutely no way you could do this with a language. And then, you know,
And
it's
then you
just
do
like
it.
make an adverb. Yes.
Okay.
So the reason I'm having a little hiccup here is I'm not quite sure where to put the adverb.
The chart?
Yeah, because like if we're doing composite comparison, did we do comparison already?
Of adjectives?
Yeah,
I thought we did.
I thought we did too.
Yeah, we have a normative, a comparative, no standard, a full comparative, and a superlative. It's really a verb thing, though.
It's a verb thing.
The object is an adjective in the nominative. We use the verb tau to grow. So yeah,
Okay.
the quiet itself, haf, does not change.
Okay, so that in that case, this can be deleted, and we can just do this.
Right, Magpie. We'll leave it streaming for 24/7, but you're gonna find out that it's just our wall in the background. All right. Good, Jake. Conlanger surprises family by going outside.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. There we go. Now we can keep these if we want to potentially use them later. We'll just say adverb, and it will be the initial. We'll just say that for the time being. I'm not sure what's going to end up being relevant.
Jonathan posted this. Thank you, Jonathan.
Well done.
You captured LangTime in a nutshell.
Okay, so do we have an adjective other than ow that begins with the vowel?
Sorry, say that again.
Do we have an adjective other than ow that begins with a vowel?
In Horop or in that we've already created here?
In our delightful space age fox language.
I sent David an Instagram video today of a cat and a fox.
It's really
No,
really
we only
nice.
have fresh that be. Oh, wait. I think that's the only adjective we entered, babe. I'm just a second. No, we have quiet. Quiet and fresh are the only two that we entered into the dictionary. And so
Probably need some more adjectives then, huh?
Oh, right. The word for to be big is oof in Haugal.
Oh, wow, that probably just drops right in, doesn't it?
gosh.
I'm guessing. Here, we're going to jump
Just
over to
second,
Lexergy real quick. Oops. For those unfamiliar, Lexergy is a sound change applier created by Graham Hill. It's really good. And I was just double checking. I was pretty sure, yeah, it just drops right in. So.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead and add some more adjectives. I think that would be beneficial.
If we want to borrow, sorry, I've seen if we had any more. Okay, borrowing from Halkop, we have slow, which is whim in Halkop, but comes from the L, labialized L E M.
Oh, Lem.
Whim.
Yeah.
So we have that means slow one.
That's good. Let's do that. Big adjective. Oof.
And then I'm ready to keep giving you forms if you want more.
I think that would be a good thing to do. Large. Let's take a look, and I'm still on Lexergy right now.
Okay.
So there's Lem.
And then
comes out as Leem. Okay.
Okay, and then cold is Vrem. So the beta R, the upside down R, E M. Vrem.
Okay. Interesting.
I already got big.
Oh, really interesting. Are we in the right language? It doesn't change after. Huh. Okay. Huh. Interesting. All right. Go ahead. Keep going.
Did we have the verb for or the adjective for small yet?
I don't know.
And these are all from nouns, by the way, in Halkop. For people
Yeah.
wondering, these are like nouns. Small in protoform is aspirated K, E, A, L. Of course, the big capital L.
Yep.
Chal.
Okay.
Which in modern Halkop is chal.
Yeah.
Chal.
And in Lo Hakish is going to be Shiu.
Oh.
Pretty cool.
Okay.
Let's do one more. Can you find anything that starts with a voiced stop?
Just a second. Ooh, no, sour is Phi-E-M. Fame.
We have a lot that end with EM. What are we doing?
I don't know, babe. Okay, no. The only ones we have that start with voiced stops are ordinal modifiers. So, like, fourth one is bub, from Bubba. And otherwise, like, third one is great, G-R-E-T. But yeah, that's...
This is good, though, because I think those turn really easily into adverbs as well.
Okay.
Because it makes sense, you know, by the fourth paw. Okay. All right. Let's just do these. Okay. Remind me what leem means.
That one was L-E-M, right?
Lwem.
Oh, whim. Right. That one was slow.
All right. Oh dear. My. Whoa. What were the two adjectives we already added? Hoff. Hoff was the other one. Okay.
L and Huff.
Okay. Lean. Aline. Come on, Eileen. An absolutely incredible song. absolutely incredible song, and it might be the only one that they did that I think was truly incredible. But it was enough. All right. Are you going to add these to the English
Sorry.
side? You don't have to.
I would love to. What'd you just enter? Lim.
Lim, L-I-M, it means slow.
Yeah.
Now, frame. I'm forgetting what these mean, and I keep getting sleepy.
That one was vrem, and that was cold. The beta R-E-M,
Yeah.
vrem, cold. Cold. Ooh.
What was kale then?
Small.
Oh. All good. This will be our first B word. Come on, Ephraim. Okay. And that's old. Entered that. Next is going to be shiu, which is small. Also our first S word.
Ooh.
Rear. Nope. Small, little.
And that was S-H-I-I-W.
Yeah, and then theme.
That's also little. Okay. And George, this language diverged from Hauha about 7 sound changes in.
Yeah.
Is the time depth, however long that was. And there are certain things that sort of match where the language changes that happened around then, where this would have broken off. So the protoforms are coming with it, but going through sound changes 1 through 7 like Helgoff did, and then all new sound changes after that for the foxes. And then some grammatical shifts happened then in the language after it broke off. So it's divergent from pretty early
They were the second ones. So
on.
originally it would have been all the dogs, the foxes, the wolves, and the coyotes. And then the wolves and coyotes would have branched off and left first. The foxes left second. And then after that, the Confederation of Dogs was founded and solidified. So I see that theme means rhubarb in addition to sour. I would love to create an augment so that they don't mean the same thing anymore. So that theme still means sour, but if we were to say, like, would you call it a root, a stalk? Essentially, I want to make sour blank mean rhubarb.
I would call that a stalk because that's what I associate. There's a leaf attached to it, but like
Yeah.
the red stalk is.
Good evening, Karis.
I'm looking up. Yeah, because I mean, there's leaves on top, but it's that big red stalk sticking out that I associate as that's how you know it's rhubarb.
Let's go to the internet. Now, do you eat the stalk?
The stalk is what you eat? Yes.
You don't eat the leaves?
As far as I know, no. And the stalk you have to prepare, like you can't eat it raw. You have to prepare it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. But does anyone eat the leaves? Like, I don't know if animals, like, because I know rhubarb itself, like, I think rhubarb is tastes bad to animals, which is part of what protects it.
Yeah, that's why we had it sour. So, listen to this. The Royal Horticulture Society has the UK's national collection of rhubarb that comprises 103 varieties. In 2021, it was moved from southern England to more northern Garden RHS Bridgewater, where winter cold and rainfall are better suited for rhubarb. The following cultivars have gained the Royal Horticulture Society's Award of Garden Merit. Granddad's Favorite, Reed's Early Superb, Stein's Champagne, Timperley Early.
Timperley early. Ooh.
I have never had rhubarb pie. I never knew what it was, and so I never thought I would eat it.
Have you still never?
Yes, I have never had rhubarb pie.
That's a shame. So,
You know what I like, though. You know what I like in terms of tastes. Would I like rhubarb pie?
if it's made well, yes.
Okay. Well,
Especially because, like, Daniela just mentioned that at a family event, someone in the family brought strawberry rhubarb pie, and now I can't see the comment on my screen. But yeah, so if you can imagine it being prepared, so it ends up tasting fruity. But also, I've had rhubarb crumble, and I find it delightful. But again, like, you just got to cook it. And by the way, I think it was somebody said something. Aaron had mentioned that it's even like the leaves are still bad for you, even if you cook them. So the leaves are out. It's just the stalk that you can cook out the things.
Bivleridian says the Chinese word for rhubarb is big yellow, which is funny to me since rhubarb is so obviously red. And second, it reminds me of a dream I had where in the dream, as part of the dream, I believed that I came up with the perfect nickname for the city of San Diego. And that nickname is
Rhubarb City.
the Bad Yellow.
Oh my gosh. That's
And
hilarious.
in the dream, I told everybody, and they're like, yes, that's it. That's perfect. And I woke up and I was like, yellow.
I agree, Mateus. I think rhubarb pie is very North American, specifically very U.S. oriented. More specifically, I think it's very Southern and Midwest. Because I've never seen anyone out here talk about eating rhubarb.
We have a word for stalk in Hauhof.
Wonderful. Like an actual stalk?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
This is incredible.
Right,
so
I really should ragdoll. I should make rhubarb pie for David. So that way...
Yeah, if you made it. Whew.
So that way he could try it. Yeah, that was a part of my childhood.
Word for rhubarb would end up being eamfim.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And I suppose we can ask ourselves the question, should we just harmonize it, or, just saying that after a while they would just call it that. So it's eamfim.
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 Mm-hmm.
Should we keep it or go eamfim?
Curious to know what our viewers are feeling.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Rhubarb. Shall rhubarb be the original? I'm going to do this in IPA. Theme. Or a slightly harmonized.
Was it last week of the brownies, or the week before that was the brownies?
Oh, God, those brownies were good.
This is what
Remember
we
those
get off
the
stream and I
brownies
go
with
cook
our
for
ice
David.
cream?
Yeah.
Oh, that was so good. And you know, because we were talking about the crispy top, and Jessie tried a new recipe, and she wasn't as happy with it, but I loved it. I loved it.
So David thinks he's picky about brownies. I'm even pickier about brownies before I give them my like there's a point where it's like, okay, it's good enough to eat, I'll eat it, but it's like it's not where I wanted it to be. And that's what happened with these brownies. Like they were good, I ate them, really enjoyed them with ice cream, but like they just weren't where I personally wanted them. And so I gotta keep searching for my perfect brownie recipe.
It seems like everybody agrees that it should be the slightly harmonized version. Yeah.
Everybody but 4 people.
Everybody but 4 people.
Oh, okay. I'm seeing some good rhubarb pie recipes.
At least for humans, I think, rhubarb fails in that it's colored in a way to be like, I'm dangerous, don't eat me, you know, because I see rhubarb and I think, ooh. It's for me, walking through the vegetable aisle, it's like walking through a parking lot and seeing a cherry red Corvette. You just go, oh my, you know?
And you just want to take a bite off that red stalk?
Yeah, it looks like a celery that's had its taste turned from 0 to 1.
Okay, you know what? You dig on celery, but the other day when we ordered those wings, you posted a picture. People saw the picture.
Oh, I love
You ordered.
I love celery because it doesn't have any taste.
I was about to complain that then David ate all the celery, and I was thinking, ooh, I get vegetables. I'm going to eat that celery. And David ate it all.
Oh,
And I was
saw that
like, he
celery.
complains about celery?
No.
Anyway.
I'd say I'm a strong advocate that celery doesn't have any taste at all. Like, it's not negative, it's not positive, there's just no taste there. So you just get the enjoyment of refreshing chewing. Many claim that celery tastes bad, which is just a weird concept to me.
Yes, Jake. Celery again.
The only thing that's great with mustard is what would mustard be good on? I like squirting mustard directly into the trash because then I don't have to eat it.
I really like mustard, but I've never tried it with celery. That's interesting.
Dinah Ed says texture is part of tasting bad. I don't know about that.
Anyway.
Okay. Oh no. Sorry.
You're on Luxurgy if that's not where you want to be.
Thank you. I did not intend to be on Luxurgy.
Oh, Danielle mentioned pretzels. We have those twists in our pantry.
The monk crisps that they've started serving on Southwest flights.
Stella.
They're
I
incredible.
think,
They're
is the
incredible.
brand. Anyway. Oh, David, get this done, and we're gonna
Okay, rhubarb.
celebrate.
Let me write this in because
Infim.
and I just want to make sure that all of these inflections are correct. I think so.
I feel like I'm starting to see double.
Yeah. And let me just make a note about this. So the harmonization, or how about the fronting of original is irregular. And now I'm going to take one away from there, add it to there. Yes.
I just want to point out this jar came with the label clearly still part of it.
Oh, yeah.
That was different than the
Do
one.
you want to show people the new one?
Well, it's behind you.
Oh, it's behind us. All right.
Well, right behind you.
Oh, it is. How about that? This isn't a bad place for it. We should just keep it there. So
I agree.
Jesse went to like just take the plastic off of this, and then like the entire label came with it.
Versus like our old one, which clearly has a label that's still part of it.
You want to transfer?
I don't know. Maybe. Not right now.
Okay.
We're going to have a double Kopiko day, so we can finish out this jar.
You bet it. Cheers, colleague.
Ooh, bye, George. It was nice to see you here.
Yeah. Don't forget about Tongues and Runes. Every
Saturday.
Saturday at 6 a.m. Pacific. Also, keep an eye out for Carl Buck's channel, Meography A to Z. Occasional streams and then occasional videos. Which are, the videos are every other Friday. Not sure about the streams. Anyway, Kopiko, with or without the label, it's always Kopiko. Ancient Greek is quite the small word for rhubarb. It is, if I have that right, Kreon?
No, it's probably E. Rion. They pronounce everything E.
No, Ancient Greek.
Oh, ancient Greek. Then Reon, I would believe, yes.
I can't, at this distance, I can't tell which way that apostrophe is, so whether it's Reon or Kreon.
That's a good question.
Voiced or voiceless.
You know what? I think that's pointed the way of the H. I think it's Reon.
All right, so I had it right.
Oh, Sister Language just says, wait, the word Kopiko comes from Hawaiian?
I think isn't that how kopi is how coffee is pronounced in Hawaiian. It's an Indonesian company though, and the phonology is somewhat similar.
And Jonathan has laid it out. It was indeed the voiceless version of the R. And in modern Greek, it is indeed Rion.
Rion, yeah. Oh, kopiko is actually a coffee bean found in Hawaii. Huh. Very cool. Okay. Anyway, the long and short of this, now we have some more adjectives. So we make our little adverbs. Large, something voiceless initial. Hoff kind of works with that, but I want to do something else. Shoe. Shoe is small. And then starting with a voiced, I guess, vreem is what? Vreem?
It was
Cold?
cold, I think. Yeah, cold.
Alright. Now I'm just gonna copy and paste those there. We'll remember that needs to be different. Do a little bit of this down here, and we can fill those in later. Alright. Huh. So, Matthijs is mentioning the Dutch classic Max Havelaar. The Indonesian author Ananta Pramujatur wrote a quartet of books, partially while imprisoned, that's referred to collectively as the Buddha Quartet. And in fact, initially, he had to write the book orally, where he would just recite it to other prisoners, and the prisoners would help him remember. Eventually, they started smuggling him in paper and pencil so they could write it down. And eventually, he got out of prison and was able to publish it. And the protagonist of the book has quite a, I guess, a dialogue with the book Max Havelaar. It's something that looms, at least by the admissions of the narrator, it's something that looms very large in the literary landscape of Indonesia, and it's something that, if I understand it right, that he feels he respects in a certain way, but also hates and despises. So I've never actually read Max Havelaar. I was always interested. All right, so let's write up our adverb section. Matthijs compared it to Joseph Conrad, which I think probably makes a lot of sense. Joseph Conrad is a good writer and put out some good stuff, but also there's, based on, his choice of subjects and how he dealt with it, really raises an eyebrow. To say the least. Okay. Manner adverbs can be formed. Make sure. Yeah. Regularly from adjectives. From state of adjectives. Manner adverbs co-occur with the prefix ma. And then, oh, come now. Let's be fresh.
I can't believe you haven't turned that off by now.
Okay. We need to go back to the poll. I know that R is on. R. That's it. A couple examples. Demonstrate their use below. Okay. So is Kvo sing? I don't think we entered it. Have we entered any verbs? We have entered a single verb.
Yeah. But didn't we do charts?
Honestly, that Social Language was making a joke. David, what were you trying to Romanize with the registered trademark thing? But that R in the circle would be great to drop into broad, cross-linguistic descriptions of languages, where the R is going to be something, but it's always weird in some way. And so, you just put the R in there, noting that it's an R, it's going to be funky. That never happens with something like D, you know.
So fun fact, we also didn't enter to sing in Hauhof, but we have it like in a list of words
Really?
to be entered.
Really?
Yeah, to sing is Q labialized W plus aspirated OAL.
Well, let's do that. That is a thing. Okay, help me out. Stay up there with the etymology, if you would. Okay, the modern form is, say it again.
K grave accent O, V grave accent A, L. Kuval, Kuval, Koval, Koval,
Koval?
Koval.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, and now the protoform is
Q
aspirated.
aspirated and labialized.
Okay.
O, A, L.
And they both have grave accents, right? So it's koval.
Yeah.
Okay. Sing. And okay. Okay.
I'll get it on the English side. Because I think I can leave that space now.
So then that becomes a koval. How interesting. How very, very interesting. It's a G. And then it is a KH again. And so the Y is just gone completely. How interesting. It remains for pled. So like, you know, that comes out as modern pled, jued, gued, and jued. But here, the queness of it is just gone. Mightily gone.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at how gone it is.
In Hauhof?
Yeah. Oh. Oh.
Where? I see the quinnet. Oh, the wa is gone.
Yeah.
I get you. Okay.
Yeah.
I was
How fascinating.
very confused.
How fascinating. How fascinating. Okay.
Wait, wasn't that the bizarre little thing that happened where like metathesis?
Yeah.
And so the wa is there. It's just a V now.
Right. Yeah. And so there essentially just something had to be inserted. Okay, so to sing, there we have that. Fantastic. Let's get that up on the how off side. Yep, okay. Then I think
Can you read Magpie's comment, the most recent?
the magpie?
Yeah.
Magpie says the language has gone wrong. Better turn it how off and how on again. Okay.
Are we back in Lo Hakish?
We're back in Haugoff for some reason,
Oh.
and that was a mistake. That was a little mistakey on my part. Okay, we're back here. Okay, here we are. L final. Okay, so it is Kfel if we want to do. Okay, let's finish these examples, and then get back to entering Kfel. All right, adverbs. Kfel, the fox, getting a call from spam risk.
Well, that's exciting.
I hope that I'm still on live there. Okay, Kfelkish, the fox is singing quietly. Mahaf.
Jonathan says, good old Spamela.
Mm-hmm. Fox is singing quietly, and now, how should the fox be singing? Something that starts with a vowel. So we got fresh or huge.
Those are the only options, right?
Let's just do freshly. Kfel kish mahaf. Kfel kish marau. It's a pretty cool language.
Yeah, it is.
Like this. All right. Well, cool. We did that. We did something.
I think I'm fading.
That you are, lass. I'm gonna enter Kfel.
Oh, I'll put that on the English side. Be ready.
So we do H-O-A, and then how do you get the capital L?
I don't remember if we built that in yet. I think one time I found it by accident, and now I can't remember how I got it.
All right, now let me go to
K-F-E-E-W.
L final. Oh wait, it says what the principal parts are now. And so all I need to do is just do that. And so this becomes first person plural. We have to go back and forth each time. But that's all right. Once we have this entered, then we can do other L final ones more easily. Yeah, it's Kafelov. Felbo, Kveltov.
Well, if you sing freshly, you have a well-rested voice as opposed to a husky, been talking all night, now I'm going to sing for you voice.
But
Oh.
on the other hand, I'll tell you that in a second. Marau could mean again. Marau could mean again, freshly.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just a language, just to answer your question. In this case, I'm using the middle dots for a very specific purpose. I want to show the user that the L is actually a part of the root. Because the root, the head entry, makes it look like it's just KFEEW. And so I want it clear that, in fact, the reason that it's L is because it's underlyingly L, so that people will know. Third person singular perfective. Felcho. All right.
I forgot that this is a thing.
Yeah. Look at this. Classic repartee. Jonathan asking a question about something very detailed. Jake with the immediate witty response. Karis with an honest reply. And Matisse with innuendo. Well done. Persian Russian vegan cat cafe in Ragdazagorat. Yes. What's going on? Tell me what's at issue.
I have it in our keyboard somewhere, but I can't find it.
Oh, don't worry about that. That's not a very big thing.
It is when, like, it's there somewhere. And I don't know where. Okay. Interesting. Well, Jonathan, I did that too-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand this note that I made to myself.
Okay, so let me. So I leave the L aside for a moment. I want to revisit this, and I want your Jesse approval on this.
I'm listening.
All right. So we use the foxes singing freshly simply because, right? But I think that's a really good way to do again. We don't have again in Hauhoff.
Oh, that does make sense.
And so Kfel Kishmanao could mean the foxes singing again.
I like it.
All right. So I think I will enter that separately. As its own word.
I found it.
Yeah?
If you need to type it again, let me know.
How do you type it?
Alt L and then capital Y after that. Because lowercase y is the lambda.
Yeah. Hey.
If you do Alt L.
Nice.
And then Alt L is where the retroflexes are coded. So Alt L D gives you the D retroflex and so on. I knew it was on there somewhere.
Okay, Jess. I think that deserves a little celebration. Woo! Woo!
I was ready. I was ready.
All right, this is the end of the old jar. The new jar is here. Cheers, Jess.
It came in like a wrecking ball. Oh, man. Okay.
There's only one classic, Kopiko. Okay. Jump down to the M's for me, if you would. I'd like your eyes on something.
Okay.
Okay. How do you think we should put the etymology of marau? It's the regular adverbial formation off of ow. Ow, of course, has the thing there.
Would we not just do like how you... What was its origin? Because it wasn't M-A-R in parentheses, it was...
Well, let me throw out what I was thinking.
Yeah. To show this is actually a tiny bit newer. Is that...
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
All right, you approve?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then that is done. All right.
I need to put marau again.
I just want to make this clear. The usual placement for adverbs is sentence finally. However, as they are phrases unto themselves, they have some freedom to move about the clause.
Nice. Yay. Does that mean it's a wrap on adverbs for now?
So,
Next up was either coordination or... We didn't write the demonstrative section yet, babe. Or the nouns or the adjective sections. We haven't written any of that.
we haven't even discussed demonstratives. I pulled up Haugoff. Haugoff has 4 demonstratives. They come at the end of a noun phrase. They can probably be used as pronouns, I bet. We have these, we have 2 forms. They're inanimate in Haugoff. We have two forms that are demonstratives as far back as they go, and they're proximal and distal. We have two animate ones that were derived new. Now, if I remember right, huh? Well, ain't that a kick in the head? We never entered these in the dictionary. We created them, but never entered them. And one of them is a homonym with another word that means good smell or tasty smell. Yuck. Interesting. Anyway, I think this could be the setup for our poll. Option 1 being same as how off. Option 2 being far more simplex. And then option 3 being something that we will presently discuss.
I like that.
All right. I'll write this down. Okay. Demonstratives.
So,
Yep.
option 1, only use the old forms, the this and that, the two forms. Is that correct?
Option 1 is just same as how off. Option 2 is only the original 2.
Okay.
And then we should have at least one option 3. And I think that one of the option 3s could be essentially the original 2 plus yonder.
So the original 2 are this and that, and then we could have something far away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me double check. Interesting. There's a proto word for here and a proto word for there in Haugoff.
So instead of this and that, they could have used the here and there.
Yeah, actually. So, I mean, maybe we can narrow these down, but we have the original 2. We could also have the new 2, which are here and there. But we could also do essentially the original 2, and then for the yonder, it would be that there. Okay. And I'll put all those together.
I like that.
I'll put all those together and run them through the sound changer and see what they come out as. I suppose it's also an open question of if they're going to agree. So the one that will show up the least controversially, I think, is this. It wouldn't show up in one of the options, but let me just take a look. Where was? No way, I wasn't how off. I wasn't how off. This is mole. In Lo Hakish, that comes out as mel. Mel. That is kind of nice. So, Let's do a little test here. This will be a good test just before we get to the poll, because I think we can decide it here, and those watching can offer their input. Need an adjective.
Do you care what shape of adjective?
I was going to grab an example that already existed, I thought. Oh, we didn't do the adjective section.
No, that's why I said we haven't done the noun or the adjective section.
Huh. There's no copula for adjectives. Interesting. So there's no difference between the fox is quiet and the quiet fox. I mean, just said in isolation.
Mm-hmm.
But I suppose that doesn't matter. All right, I've jumped down to page 14.
Mm-hmm.
Kishhaf. This is the quiet fox. Now let's put it, let's pluralize that somehow. I think it's going to be Hakish Ahaf, I think. Hakish.
How's quiche not?
Ahaf.
How is fox not our example word for our noun charts?
I don't know.
I was looking for it and it's not there.
So Kishhaf is the quiet fox. Hakishahaf is the quiet foxes. And now let's go ahead and do the locative, since you can say that kind of easy. The locative or the allative something.
For same with quiet fox?
Yeah, so like either to the quiet fox or, yeah, to the quiet fox. How does that come out?
Wa, sorry, for singular. So
Okay.
wakish.
Wakish, and then ahaf.
Getting down to the adjective chart. Allative, ahaf, yeah.
Okay, and now the plural, to the quiet foxes.
Wakish.
Uh,
And then ahaf.
Okay, Kishhaf, the quiet fox. Hakishahaf, the quiet foxes. Wakishahaf, to the quiet fox. Wakishahaf, to the quiet foxes. How interesting. How interesting. It's hard doing Finnish so much. No.
Long. Wakish
Thank
is
you.
the plural.
Thank you. Wakishahaf. Okay, that's a little bit better. But yeah, it's hard not harmonizing these.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like it calls for it. But that's okay.
This is more like Hungarian vowel harmony.
Yeah. By the way, if there's anybody who knows anything about Hungarian, I would love to know why has, house, in the plural is hazak and not hazok with an O. Why it's an A and not an O. I would love to know that. Okay, so we got that. Now we're going to say this, which is mo. So obviously this is option 1, no agreement at all. So this quiet fox, these quiet foxes, to this quiet fox, to these quiet foxes. We have kishafmel, hakishahafmel, wakishahafmel, wakishahafmel. So it's just got the thisness of it. Here's what it would look like if it agreed. Pretty simple. So kishafmel is still this quiet fox. These quiet foxes, hakishahafamel, to this quiet fox, wakishahafamel, to these quiet foxes, wacky shahafamel. Go ahead.
As you're doing that, babe, I have a guess for you.
A guess.
A guess.
Okay.
The word has originally comes from a protoform that ends in an A. And so that A may have like solidified with the K plural ending before it disappeared on the singular. And so it may just have stuck around, whereas a word like diak, student, ended in a consonant, and so it was diakok.
Now, something I know is that the protoform that gives us has in Hungarian is the same as the word that gives us koti.
Yeah, kota is the protoform with an A.
How did it become koti in Finnish?
I don't know. Like, I don't know how that vowel changed, but yeah, even in Proto-Finnish, so taking that away, it was still kota.
So this language says there used to be kota in Finnish too. Is this the type of thing where...
Well, kota is still a modern word as well, but it's more considered like a hemispherical shelter with...
And it's... At home is kotona, right? With an O. Wait, no, yes?
Sorry, yeah. Yeah, but there is a Sami word, goati, and so the Sami ends in I, like the Inari Sami is guati, the Northern Sami is goahti.
Wow.
And so there's that influence as well.
Huh.
And so that kind of put together, it kind of makes sense that it could have done that. And so yeah, koti and koto were formed through noun forming suffixes. Koti is the base word. Koto was used for kotona. Kotona. So yeah.
I just realized I'm looking at top chat, not live chat on my phone.
Because of that spam call.
Yeah. Anyway, I think I'm gonna...
Boy, this is awfully close.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna close it. With 15 votes, the winner by 1 was option 2. I think that we just have to go with your thought, Jess.
Does that mean you don't like option 2?
Do you?
Sorry, I haven't even looked. I was looking up home.
Oh. Jake said they would have tied it.
Okay. I see. I am leaning towards the simpler, which is interesting because I think we could also posit a middle ground, at least for discussion, maybe not for sticking around. You know how, like, you know, German and Old English has weak versus strong adjective forms. And it could be interesting to have weak versus strong demonstrative forms, where if there's a matching adjective, like, so if there's an adjective, the demonstrative just shows up in a plain form, but if there's not, and it's just noun demonstrative, it carries that same adjectival type agreement.
Oh boy. Okay.
So there, but this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
again just up for discussion. Like there is this middle ground between these two.
Let me hang on to that idea because I want to just take a look at something really, really quickly.
Oh, well, people are liking this idea. Jonathan, Mateus, Karis, and Jake.
Yeah, I wanted to throw something else out. Okay, Bob is
Oh,
going to be
thank
4.
you, Karis. Oh, goodbye, our knight Petrichor. Stay grammar. Oh, Jake. Huh. Come now. You know you show up to talk celery. That's really why you're here.
So we'll call this call this just modified and unmodified at the moment. But I have this led me to another question, which has now led me to another branching point. Because if we do log off numerals, then I believe
That's how numbers work.
yeah, and so here I'll write it here. Numeral equals phrasal head. Okay. There is another option. Where we do this. And this.
Okay.
And
Look up numerals we've got. Because effectively, it's the Akish would be the genitive form. Is that correct?
yeah.
So 5 of the fox. This.
And I'm just going to put the in all of these just because, just so that they're all the same.
Hakishbab, the 5 foxes. Hakishabab, the 5th foxes. So that would be like there's 3 lines of foxes. And of those lines of foxes, we only want the 5th fox in each line.
Yeah, and there
Okay.
could be as many as we want of those. And then right below that
Kishbab.
would have to be the 5th fox.
So 5 foxes. We pluralize the fox. Hakishbab. Interesting.
Call this
Kishbab, 5th
the
fox.
novel option. Bubba's gone, right?
Bubba is gone. Bubba! Man. I mean, this is not something that has to be decided with this. This is like 2 different polls brewing here. How are we doing numbers? How are we doing demonstratives?
I'll tell you, I feel more comfortable with the demonstrative poll than with this as a poll.
Then with the numbers?
Yeah.
100%. Like, I think we should figure out demonstratives first.
Because I gotta say, I think I like this better.
The old Helgoff form?
Yeah.
Well, we can definitely do that. I think these are two different discussions.
With this option, we would definitely need a novel, singular ordinal, because one fox and first fox would be identical. The reason that these can be distinguished is because 5 foxes is plural, and here it's singular, and so you know that it has to be the adjective.
Well, a couple things there, though. A lot of languages do have a unique ordinal for like 1 and 2, and so like that's
Sure.
not out of the box.
No, absolutely.
A second thing is it might be okay to have that ambiguity.
True, but also shout out Magpie, thinking the same thing. Okay, so then, all right, we'll leave this then.
I think that's a good poll for like after next week, maybe. Like maybe let's get these demonstratives and then let's start thinking about
Yeah.
how to add numbers with them. And in fact, I think a great thing that could be done is like we can flesh out demonstratives by deciding what forms you all want in the poll. We can write up that demonstrative section. Then we can revisit, i.e. actually visit for the first time, the noun and the adjective sections which are not written up in the document next episode. And in that process, start thinking about how do we count nouns.
Mm-hmm. But I think that we're pretty happy with this, right, though?
Yeah.
So we do like that. So
Our contingency is very happy with it, and so I say that is definitely an option.
How do we want to note this where like demonstratives are the poll, but this isn't at issue, and we like this, but this is something to discuss?
You entertain the masses.
Oh. Goodness. So, Celery Talks, a new podcast with your host, David J. Peterson. Today, we're talking to celery. And one thing that I love about celery is how it brings nothing to the table in terms of flavor, and yet is always present. Celery, can you tell us how you do this? Fascinating. Captivating. Truly, there's nothing like you, celery. In this 739-part series, we're going to get to know celery better. I hope you join us in this incredible journey. All right, that's all I got.
Cool. Okay, so what I've typed here.
Nice.
And this is underlined because this document likes to do that. Okay. So we've got these patterns are going to emerge regardless of forms. So a demonstrative following an unmodified noun occurs with marking, while a demonstrative following an adjective, which is already marked for agreement, is in its bare form. Here's the pattern we will follow, whatever demonstrative forms we choose to in the poll this coming week. The actual forms we're going to be choosing from are going to be the 4 same forms that we find in Helgoff. The original 2 forms in Helgoff, i.e. the this and that, we're going to ignore the newer ones that Helgoff came up with as option 2. Mm-hmm. Option 3 is going to be take the old this, that, add a third one to create that there, which means yonder, or yonder, that, there.
Okay.
Well, that could be option 4. It's just like that is
I had it
another
as option 4, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The other option, which I think now is actually option 3, is that we actually create demonstrative forms from here and there. In other words, completely different demonstratives from Halgoth from these 2 words that are still part of the proto-language.
All right.
Done.
I like it. Well done. You know, in the meantime, though, we can fill in some things up here in the table.
No. In the meantime, we stare. This is what our 24/7 stream is going to be filled with. People need to get used to it. This is me. Goodness. Okay, but yeah. Oh, I had a good staring face.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lowercase nouns.
What do nouns do?
Inflect for number and case. They don't inflect for definiteness. Which is expressed in other ways. Okay. Loakish has 7 noun cases?
6. Nominative, accusative, genitive, locative, allative, illative.
Really?
According to the noun inflection table that I am looking at, we have nominative, accusative, genitive, locative, allative, illative.
All right, then.
Did you create a 7th that I don't know about?
No, maybe I did. Those cases are...
Nominative.
I know. Okay. Nominative. Commonly associated. Ooh. Huh. Not normative, nominative.
Yeah.
Nominative.
Oh my god.
Commonly associated with the subject of a sentence. Accusative. Commonly associated with the direct object of the sentence. What is the range of exponents for the accusative?
What? Can you translate that sentence for me?
Yeah, what kind of thingies show up for it?
Ho?
Looks like we got a ho and a wah.
Ho. Oh, but that's part of the base. Well, I don't know. W-H-O-H-O-V. Well, that's kind of the base. I don't know. How do you want to... Wah. Ho,
Yeah.
wah.
And then the genitive
Is ah or long ah. Single ah, long ah.
Okay, so that's singular plural.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Next we have locative, which is om versus ma.
Next.
Allative, which is wa versus wah.
And illative.
Hom versus homa.
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 Okay.
Short.
Perfect. That's and then I'm gonna just drop a note here. Though
Jake says the food in Nulitis is often a nominative case. Nom nom nom.
the word order often tells one the basics of Who has done what to whom. Case marking is obligatory and fulfills much of the and conveys much of the information.
So, anime fan, we have our door and window open, and there is a pool nearish to our open door. And so what you hear is the sound of children that sound like foxes screaming in the night.
Okay, lochaki schnauzen sind flecked for singular and plural. There are distinct singular and plural forms for each case number combination. All right.
One thing up above, locative, allative, and illative, I'll say they're associated with the direct object of a sentence.
They sure do. Commonly associated with static.
Danielle, way to drop Nomakola into this conversation. Nice.
Goals. Exterior destinations.
Ooh, enjoy dinner, Jonathan.
There we go. All right. That is all the grammar that is fit to print. So
Excellent.
I think we made some nice progress today.
I agree. Especially given my state of mentalness. So
Yeah,
we made it.
we made it.
Yay. All right. Well, we will see you all next week.
Everybody stay in grammar. You never know. Tornado warnings.
What? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Mateus, thank you. Yes, I will keep trying to put things out there. There will be a whole grammar ready to go. At least on Nomakola. At some point, have I ever published the Juari grammar?
No.
That will come too. Okay.
All right, everybody.
Bye.
Have a good week.